Good morning, everyone. Welcome back. Thank you for joining us. We're so glad that you're here. We really are. I'm Steve,
And I'm Scott.
and together we are Backyard Musings, the Science and Technology channel.
Yeah, we're talking about a very odd
Weird. Very.
disease found on a fish. And when you see the photo or
Oh, yeah.
the
We'll
picture
put
of
it
the
up.
slide that Steve's going to put up,
Let me
it's
put it up.
kind of, yeah, it's sad and it's kind of sickly looking. But
Yeah.
yeah, this is all from a fish, and who knows how it caught it.
And this has been
So,
around. It was documented in 1852. We'll get into it in the story.
yeah,
Crazy.
it's crazy. So
All
here
right,
we go.
here we go. Vermont scientists were surprised to discover a melanoma that spreads from one catfish to another like a parasite, marking the first known transmissible cancer in a freshwater animal. Raised black lesions, which you're looking at, have appeared on brown bullhead catfish. Oh, bullhead, okay.
Mhm.
Yeah, bullhead and catfish are a little bit different. Catfish get really big, bullhead are smaller, like that, what you're seeing. Across Lake Memphremagog, 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 and other waters in New England and Canada. What initially looked like pollution or infection turned out to be something far more unusual, a melanoma whose living cancer cells can move directly from one fish to another. Would you like to know more?
That is so weird because you don't think of, I mean, fish interacting with each other, touching, and I don't
Yeah,
know. That's just weird.
breeding, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But even then, they don't really. I mean, usually the female lays the eggs, and then the male comes by as by
What if
infertile.
what if the insects that they're eating are
That could
contaminated,
be.
whatever?
That could
You
be.
know?
Yeah. Okay. Researchers in Vermont identified it as the first transmissible cancer ever found in a freshwater fish species. Unlike ordinary tumors, which arise from an animal's own cells, these cancer cells behave like parasites that pass between hosts. The discovery, published in Nature on July 22nd of this year, offers a rare view of how cancer can spread through wildlife. It also raises unsolved or unresolved questions about where the disease began, how it could affect catfish populations, and what it may reveal about the limits that normally keep cancers confined to one animal.
Anglers and biologists began reporting a sharp increase in affected brown bullhead catfish, Amierus nebulosus, in 2012. The sightings came from Lake Memphremagog, a cross-border lake shared by Vermont and Quebec. By 2014, raised black patches were visible on nearly one-third of the fish examined. Because brown bullhead are used as indicators of environmental quality, the researchers initially suspected pollution, a contaminant, or an infectious pathogen. Analysis instead showed that the lesions were melanoma, a form of skin cancer.
Hmm. Using whole genome sequencing, the researchers compared DNA from tumors with healthy tissue taken from affected fish. The cancer cells were far more closely related to one another, and they were to the catfish carrying them. That pattern is the defining sign of the clonal, clonal, clonally transmissible cancer. In these rare diseases, living tumor cells escape their original hosts and spread between animals as infectious agents. Hmm.
The findings represent only the fourth recognized type of transmissible cancer in the animal kingdom. It is also the first identified in any fish or freshwater species. Other known examples include facial tumor disease in Tasmanian devils, a transmissible venereal tumor in dogs, and leukemia like cancer that pass among clams, mussels, and other bivalve mollusks.
All right. The researchers have not yet determined exactly how the melanoma moves between catfish. Brown bullhead gather in close groups in shallow water while spawning. That physical contact could allow tumor cells to pass directly between fish. Their biology may create another possible route. Bullhead lack scales and spend much of their time near the lake bottom, where they frequently contact sediment that might contain free floating cancer cells. Also, they're going to probably put this back on man, right? Probably
Yeah,
polluting stuff. Yeah.
dumping.
Yeah.
The study also suggests that pollutants or hormonal changes could weaken the fish's immune systems, making them more susceptible to infection by foreign cancer cells. Naturally occurring arsenic may also play a role, although the researchers have not established whether it contributes to the disease.
The long-term ecological consequences remain unclear. Some transmissible cancers devastate their hosts. Facial tumor disease has eliminated as much as 90% of certain Tasmanian devil populations. Wow. Other transmissible tumors persist without destroying their host species. The cancer found in dogs, for example, has circulated for thousands of years. I had a dog that had cancer one time.
Brown bullhead with severe disease in Lake Memphremagog. I'm not making that name up. That's a real name.
I'm glad you pronounced it, because now that I'm looking at it and hearing you it come from your lips, it sounds like that's the correct way.
So it can survive for years. Researchers still do not know how the cancer affects reproduction, overall survival, or population numbers over longer periods. Lake Memphremagog supplies drinking water to more than 175,000 people. But the research, that would be alarming.
Yeah.
If those people found out. But the researchers emphasize that the disease poses no known threat to humans. And we don't eat bullhead. I don't know anybody that eats bullhead. They eat catfish. The cancer cells cannot infect or survive in another species, and the fish are safe to handle and study.
And they know this for sure. Okay. The discovery nevertheless raises broader questions about whether pollution, habitat stress, and the effects of ice age can influence the evolution and spread of disease in wildlife. Some environmental advocates have questioned whether toxins from the nearby, Coventry landfill could be causing the cancer. The research team found no evidence supporting that explanation. Yeah, I'm going with landfill.
Yeah, landfill, yeah.
Yeah.
Affected fish occur throughout the 32-mile-long lake, including in reproductively isolated populations. Cases are not concentrated in South Bay near the landfill, as would be expected if contamination from that site were responsible. Water quality testing also found similarly low pollutant levels in Lake Memphremagog and several nearby water bodies. These include Lake Champlain, where no transmissible melanoma is known to occur. That's a famous Lake Champlain.
Right.
For Revolutionary War.
Lake Memphremagog has shown that the cancer is not confined to one body of water. Researchers examined catfish from Vermont, New Hampshire, Maine, and New Brunswick. They detected the disease in a few other ponds and lakes in the region. That's stated by Peter Emerson, a biologist for the state of Vermont and co-leader on the new study. Many of those locations have pristine water and are far from landfills, toxic discharges, or other obvious sources of industrial pollution.
The researchers did, however.
But the thing about water is it moves, right?
Yeah. Unless it's a pond water doesn't move.
Pond water, yeah.
But the lake does, yeah.
Right.
The researchers did, however, find elevated arsenic levels inside the fish cancer cells. The geographic distribution of the disease also appears to correlate with arsenic concentrations in soil surrounding the affected lakes. Arsenic is both highly toxic and carcinogenic, but the evidence does not yet show whether it causes the cancer, makes fish more vulnerable to infection, or has some other connection to the disease. The scientists are now investigating how long the transmissible melanoma has existed and whether similar cancers are more common than current records suggest.
Possible early record appears in the journals of Henry David Thoreau. He was a scientist, right? Scientist.
Yep. Naturalist.
Yeah, naturalist. Yeah, right. While traveling on the Concord River in Massachusetts in July of 1852, wow, he described a catfish with a large, dark lesion. Thoreau wrote, "One of these large pouts, or catfish, have a very large velvet black spot, which included the right pectoral fin, a kind of disease I have often observed on them. So that's long before landfills. So I don't know. Maybe this has been going on.
Yeah, something like the arsenic, maybe. 6
Yeah.
years later, he recorded another affected fish. Quote, I see a pout, that's a catfish, this afternoon in the Assabet, a tributary of the Concord River, lying on the bottom near the shore, evidently diseased. He permits the boat to come within 2 feet of him. Nearly half the head from the snout back diagonally is covered with an inky black kind of leprosy, like a crustaceous lichen.
Yeesh. Okay. Researchers are now surveying ponds and rivers in Massachusetts to map the cancer's distribution and determine whether it may have originated there. So watch what you eat. If you catch these fish, make sure their color is true all the way through. If there's something abnormal, I would say
And and get it to the local Department of Fish and Wildlife so
right,
that they
yeah,
can look at it.
yeah, your local DNR, absolutely. So, okay, there you have it.
All right, folks. Thanks. We'll see you in the afternoon.
Take care, everyone. Have a great day.